Hello folks, I'm back yet again with another plugin called SpaceWolf, the very first reverb Beatskillz has done. So for all of you Beatskillz lovers, this is a must-have, and for a reason which I'm going to tell you why. There's also a whole story around this. I'm going to explain how this came about. But before that, I know some people are impatient and they don't want to listen to my story, and that's totally fine. Just go straight to the audio example, skip my talk. The audio examples are in this video, rest assured. There's also a dedicated special separate video which has just audio examples. You can go there, take a call and see if this is for you. Now to the rest of us who have patience to listen to my blabber, here we go. So I personally have struggled with using reverb plugins over years because not all of them fit and not all of them work, and I've just gone back to my hardware, 2 units that I have. The Lexicon PCM81 and the Eventide, that silver box. I'm not recalling the name right now, but yeah, that's the one. Okay, so I had it for some time, now I don't have that one. Now, Lexicons were smooth, silky, beautiful, modulated reverbs, especially the PCM81, which is also a multi-effect unit. So it had this chorus silky reverb. I use it all the time. Thick stuff, but sticks in a mix and just makes everything large and huge and beautiful. Dimensional, I mean, is an understatement. Eventide for all that glittery stuff, the granular stuff, it's always had that and just beautiful. So I wanted to make something which is like a kind of love child of both. Yet my problem is I don't have access to their algorithms, right? That's proprietary stuff. How on earth am I going to find those? So the only thing I can trust is, yes. Turns out that with any technology, it doesn't matter. Your data or your ears or the curation is everything. When you bring something to the table, it has to be art, it has to be tasteful, it has to be good. And who decides that? You. So at the end of the day, taste is everything. So guys, with taste out there, trust me, everything's going to be good for you as it already is, and it's going to be better. So coming down to the point, it's taken a while. I had hired an external DSP engineer to work on this, and we ended up with money being spent and not having anything usable at all. Had to shelve that. I went back to the project and had to start from scratch using ears and use, known physics about how reverbs are really made and how tanks are made or how rooms are made. It turns out that it's actually delays and how multiple delays are actually used, cutting down the resonance and all of that to make it sound like a reverb. Okay, so now let's look at the reverb and all of its features. So as you see, we've got 3 modes here. We've got a space mode, a plate mode, and a green mode. Now in space mode, it's basically a space, which means it could be a hall, it could be a room, it could be a chamber, and you can basically resize it algorithmically as we have a size control here. We've got decay. So in seconds, you can change that. And then here we have diffusion. So you can even press the E button here, like I said, change the early and late reflections right here and tailor it to how you want. Again, standard feature is pre-delay. So you have a pre-delay for the reverb. So you can let those vocals, the dry part or the sax you have or the orchestra or the violin or guitars, so that you have the dry transient pass through and then have the reverb follow. Pre-delay is a very, very important and natural and expected feature. Now we have the mod control over here, and you can control the amount of modulation. When you press E here, again, you get the rate, depth, amount, and pan. So we also have some modulation in pan, which gives you a wider stereo system, something which spreads around as much and kind of alternates it too. So it gives you a very nice imaging feature in modulation. So we have this. Then here we have the damp feature. Again, in damp, you can control the high frequency, high shelf, low frequency, and low frequency multiplier. So you can get deeper, thicker bottom end if you want, a trimmed out high frequency if you damp that, and basically, again, control the sonics of your reverb. And this is not really like filters. It's the whole mechanism of how the acoustic space will damp in the space mode. So that's what this is. Then we also have here a forward and reverse switch. The reverse, of course, starts syncing your reverb in a reversed manner onto your DAW timing. And so it gives you great reverse reverb effects right here out of the box. You don't need a separate thing or print it in the post-production way that people do. So this automatically syncs and shows you this, drop down where you can select the time division. Then you see there's some special features here. There's width and then there's shimmer. So width obviously expands the stereo width or the imaging of the reverb. But sometimes, you want to put the reverb in a mono space. So if you have some instrument pan and you want to show it space there, you can do that, or center it so it doesn't kind of leak into the stereo image or stereo things which are panned. It's a very useful thing to sometimes mono your reverb or expand, it depends. So mono versus stereo is what really creates depth, right? We have that. In the center, we have the mix knob, of course, the amount of reverb going, but we also have a wet feature here. So when you press wet, no matter what your mix setting is, it just defaults to 100% wet. And this is great for putting this system on an aux bus, where you could change presets and press wet, and then it would just keep changing presets and not have to tamper with the mix ratio ever. So you're covered. That's the idea. Anyway, so this is what this is. Then shimmer is basically adding some kind of pitched effects additionally. And it sounds really good. So the higher you go, this is going to add higher pitch effects. If you're in the center, there are none. And if you go low, then there's lower formant effects. So makes your reverb sound more glittery and beautiful and awesome. So this, of course, works throughout on all three modes. Now let's come to the plate mode. So plate mode, of course, is emulated after the EMT plate system, but goes beyond, because now you have additional things like changing the decay and the size, and of course diffusion again. It also applies to the plate mode, which is different, completely different algorithm than the space mode. So you check that out. The features stay in place of what they are, like damp and all that works. And then we have the grain mode. So grain is a granular mode, and you can do tons of stuff with it. If you press the E or edit button, now you can change the density, scatter, and the pitch, which you can change, which is a pad kind of crystal, harmonic, different kind of modes which create different granular pitched effects and algorithms, giving you a variety of sounds right within the grain or granular mode also. And then there's a blend between the reverb and the grain. So you still get a reverb and, obviously the grains, which is what makes it musical. Otherwise, it's just grains scattered, which is also cool. You could try it. And then we have the freeze function. So at whatever moment on reverb you are in space, you can press freeze. This is automatable. So like everything, all the knobs are also MIDI assignable. So if you come to any knob and you right click, you can MIDI learn any particular controller feature, and you can map to that particular feature. That's what it does, and it works like. So again, then we have certain global parameters, like obviously we have an in and out for input gain and output trim. And then we have a high pass and low pass filter additionally on the entire wet signal. And then we also have an EQ on the wet signal. So here you can actually go ahead, and it's actually a multi-parametric EQ, which you can change, graphic EQ, sorry. And then you can change the different frequencies, cut certain things out if they're interfering with your mix or your sounds, and actually tailor the reverb to be sonically fitting in with your music material. And that's got you covered. So that's about it. Let's check out the audio examples and see how this sounds. Do put your comments down below as to what you thought about this reverb. Did you check out the 15-day trial? Go for it. And if it's a great fit for you, do like and subscribe, because you want to grow our community always. That's a must. So here are the audio demos, and I'll see you next time.
Close my eyes, I count to 10, I miss you. Tell me again, why didn't I follow you? Close my eyes, count to 10, I miss you. I do. Close my eyes, I count to 10, I miss you. Tell me again, why didn't I follow you? Close my eyes, count to 10, I miss you. I do. Close my eyes, I count to 10, I miss you. Tell me again, why didn't I follow you? Close my eyes, count to 10, I miss you. I do. Close my eyes, I count to 10, I miss you. Tell me again, why didn't I follow you? Close my eyes, count to 10, I miss you. I do. Close my eyes, I count to 10, I miss you. Tell me again, why didn't I follow you? Close my eyes, count to 10, I miss you. I do. Close my eyes, I count to 10, I miss you. Tell me again, why didn't I follow you? Close my eyes, count to 10, I miss you. I do. Close my eyes, I count to 10, I miss you. Tell me again, why didn't I follow you? Close my eyes, count to 10, I miss you. I do. Close my eyes, I count to 10, I miss you. Tell me again, why didn't I follow you? Close my eyes, count to 10, I miss you. I do. Close my eyes, I count to 10, I miss you. Tell me again, why didn't I follow you? Close my eyes, Count to 10, I miss you. I do. Close my eyes, I count to 10, I miss you. Tell me again, why didn't I follow you? Close my eyes, count to 10, I miss you. I do. Close my eyes, I count to 10, I miss you. Tell me again, why didn't I follow you? Close my eyes, count to 10, I miss you. I do. Close my eyes, I count to 10, I miss you. Tell me again, why didn't I follow you? Close my eyes, count to 10, I miss you. I do. Close my eyes, I count to 10, I miss you. Tell me again, why didn't I follow you? Close my eyes, count to 10, I miss you.